So I'm obsessed with this book called Crucial Conversations because I have a very direct communication style. I don't know if anyone's noticed. Have you? Have you noticed that about me?
I thought you were quite waffly.
Yeah. But the value that I get out of that book is about having that conversation and saying that direct thing, but doing it in a way that's empowering for people.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people, and I think you've said it before as well, the thing with coaching women and the difference between coaching women and men, and you are perfectly positioned to be able to make this comparison, is that if you're coaching many female athletes, not all, there is a big chunk of emotion that comes with a lot of it. And so you have to communicate around that emotion so that people can actually hear you through the pain, right?
100%. And the amount of coaches, male coaches I've coached with, when you tell an athlete they're not selected, a female athlete, she will probably cry if it's that important. But so that's fine. That's just because it matters, not because she's weak, not because there's anything else there. It just matters. So that's how a woman deals with it. A guy might go and shut down and doesn't really communicate back with you because that's because it matters to him and that's how he feels he should show it. And so for male coaches who've not experienced that, I just say, just give them a moment and then carry on. Just keep talking because it's just their way of showing that it matters.
Do you think
what we're like?
Do you think you have to explain more with females as well?
They just want to know why.
Yeah.
It's cool. Just why. Why they're doing stuff, why this, why that. So, yeah.
Do you need a lot of whys, Gazzy?
I don't know if Skaz is the
I
one.
was just listening to Giselle then thinking, am I a man?
But that's good. But that's good because it's an 80-20 thing. I can't generalise, right? She's different.
She is. But that's what makes her so cool, calm and collected and why she's been my absolute rock this whole time, because I am completely the other end of the spectrum.
And those things don't faze you. They don't faze you in the same way. You deal with them in a different way. And that's the other thing. A lot of we go female athletes, male athletes. It's not like that. There's 80. I work 80-20. 80% of female athletes will do that. 20% of them won't.
Yeah.
And men,
scared with percentages.
there's a lot of men who will show it emotionally in slightly different ways, and should be encouraged to, because that's their style.
Yeah.
And if they're shutting down on their style and they don't tell you that it matters, same thing.
Sorry, the best addition that Shira's ever added.
I think that was a personal note
to the iPad. Oh, was it? It's not for sharing. She put,
really joking.
but how much has Skaz not been selected?
Well, there
but
is that too.
It's not just about selection, is it? There's loads of things.
Yeah.
That is true though, because every athlete has different experiences and have different things to draw on.
Yeah.
And that makes
injuries,
it matter more.
setbacks.
No, I know.
Loads of things.
I know.
But your confirmation bias,
your
confirmation bias and the patterns that you inadvertently look for is informed by the pattern of your experiences past. So if you're expecting a coach to say something about some aspect of your game, it's probably informed by criticism you've had before, non-selection you've dealt with before. So it's as you say, as you start looking for that, it's a confirmation bias that starts shaping all of the trends that you start seeing, because you say to yourself, see, I knew this was always going to be an issue. But I think it is really important to be able to communicate through that, which is something that clearly you managed to do.
I'm interested that you use the word criticism, because when someone's not selected, I don't necessarily see it as criticism. And if an athlete can see it, if it's framed right, it's an opportunity to be better. So it's feed forward. It's at this moment in time, this is an elite environment. At this moment in time, you're not ready. But to be ready, this. And now I know an athlete will feel they are ready, but I've seen several where athletes have been put out too early and it does so much damage. I have seen it where athletes have been held back too long, but it's about the right moments as well as to when you do give those big opportunities, because give a big opportunity at the wrong time and it can cause...
No.
Is language something you're really conscious of? Because like listening to you always call the players athletes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's conscious or not.
I've always done that.
Huh?
Not ladies.
Definitely not ladies.
Sometimes I will go, ladies, if they're too noisy, but when they're not listening, I will do that.
Yeah. But is that as part of the bigger communication piece? Is like how you say stuff, the choice of words.
Yeah.
The maybe, because you read so many different things around. You shouldn't say don't do something. You should always say the bit you do. All of those sorts of different bits and bobs. Is that something you've consciously I think you
thought
about?
Because I've coached for so long, you see what does and doesn't. I don't think I would sit there and say it, but athlete to me, like my sevens girls today in the session we did today, it's the empty out session. It's like 15.
Is that what you call it? Empty out?
I do, yeah. It's the empty out session. It's like so hardcore.
Onomatopoeic.
Yeah, it's big. But they hit their max velocities first. That's what they have to do, and you should do that regularly. Stop it.
Sorry, what does onomatopoeic mean?
It's
Mo?
like the word means don't wind me up. This is not.
This is a Mo moment.
No, it's not a moment. This is
Onomatopoeic. Call you Mo.
So
it's
like
cash.
bang is onomatopoeic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
because
like-
the word sounds like how
yeah,
it
it
is.
says,
yeah.
Yes.
An empty out.
Empty out, literally as it says on the tin.
I call it that. I call it that.
Nothing left.
I don't know the
Scat.
athletes would call it that. I call it that. Right?
Yes, it is.
Because I watch them literally.
Why are you
When I
laughing?
say empty out, it's just like, ooh.
Like you've got nothing left.
No,
Like that's
exactly.
onomatopoeic.
And
right.
today,
And
In a
today,
postcard, right? Are you on
Can you
Team
go
Mo
with
or
that
Team
back to your bang
Scouts?
example? Do that again.
Yeah, because like it's words as they sound.
wow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
Perfect.
Empty out.
Because it's as it is. You have got nothing left
Yes,
after that
and
session.
I
Do
don't
you
know.
understand what I'm
well,
saying?
I don't think the athlete 100%.
Thank
That's
you,
why I
Giselle.
use
You
it.
talk through it.
But that's why I use the word, but I don't know the athletes use that.
Sorry, what's happened to your eye?
Empty out. She's just laughing.
It's popping out.
And
Pow.
then, but when I watched them sprint today, because they had to hit
Good
max velocity, they were incredible to watch. The whole, I had 20 of them training, and they ran side by side,
Good numbers.
and it was unbelievable. It was beautiful to watch. They were so flat out and running.
Oh.
And they are athletes. That's why I use the word athletes, because that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
They were extraordinary to watch. And they've done a big 3-week conditioning book over Christmas, and I can see. I don't need stats to tell me. I can see the difference that they've done. It was special to watch, to be fair.
Did you tell them?
Yeah, I got really excited. I was going, Ferraris, Spitfires, boom, everywhere, because that's what they look like. That's what they look like. And then someone turned around and said, but I feel like a Peugeot. And the moment went,
Who said
Who
that?
said that? I'm
Oh,
not telling
not
you.
out of them.
And I went, a Peugeot? I said, well, you look like a Ferrari. Anyway, that's what I got. So the man went, boff, on the floor, baby.
Boff, another one.
There we go.
Never heard that one.
Yeah, it's a
Spell
good
it
one.
for me.
A lot of people, including your GB7s girls, have been sharing this pull quote from an Emily Bidwell interview where she talks about, now she's the USA Sevens coach, for those who don't know.
Bronze medal winner.
Yeah, care, connection, and empathy. Sometimes those qualities aren't valued. Sometimes as women leaders in the space, people think we are weak, but that is what makes us strong. And so many of your GB7s girls are sharing this, which I read a lot into what people share on the Instagrams.
I love that.
Oh. And the fact that all of your girls are sharing this makes me feel like they are saying we are feeling these things in the setup that we have now, which is really exciting and encouraging to notice. And you're nodding, so you agree with me.
I get very frustrated when people see empathy or anything like that as weakness. It's not.
It's why we've always got on.
It's I am an emotional coach. I make no apologies for that. Full stop.
Are you a crier?
Not in front of, but if there were moments when I will go, there has been moments when really, really good or whatever. But if I don't show or feel, why am I doing this? Why have I spent 25, 30 years doing this and then playing the game before? Rugby is an emotional game, be it 7s or 15s. You can't be your best without investing your emotion in it. You just can't. So you can't physically smash someone if you haven't got an emotional thing that's gone from one to the other. There's 1 or 2 athletes I've seen that don't change in that, but most have to have that. And if you get that emotion piece right, the whole team goes. But empathy is not weak. I challenge anyone to tell me that it is. Sharing about and vulnerability as well. You know, it's all part of, we're human. And my biggest coaching philosophy thing is human being before athlete. So I need to understand who does cry when they're thinking, who does refer to themselves as a Peugeot and not a Ferrari, and why they would do that, and who's playing because of the reasons that they're playing. Are they playing for themselves? Are they playing because they want to inspire other people? Are they playing because they want to make somebody else proud? All sorts of things. There's just masses of reasons. And if you understand the human, you move to a different level. If you ignore the human, we're not robots playing this game, are we? We are humans.
Have you, obviously going into GB7s, I'm sure that's been top of the list in terms of if it's part of your coaching philosophy, but how do you fast forward that? Because obviously you're pretty new still into the job, went on tour not that long ago. Like it's all happened really fast, isn't it? But actually learning about one person, let alone a group full of people, takes time.
How do you do that?
How
so
do you
many
do
people.
that? And how do you fast track something like that?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm used to dealing with a squad of 50 plus, and now I've got...
So it's halved.
Yeah, but I thought that would mean it would be easier. What it is it's more intense. Each athlete is more intense. And if you think about it, when you're a small group of friends, everyone like will all have a small group of friends, that relationship is really intense. And then you have more friends outside, and then you have more friends outside who you're less, so become acquaintances or whatever, and it's less intense. So that's one of the major learnings I've had, is that each one of them has more impact on me or me on them. And my other coach, you know, I mean, I've got some fabulous staff that work in the GB7's environment, and that connection is more intense. And I didn't recognise that would be the case, but like a group of really close friends, it's intense. The next bit is there, and so we're on tour with 13 athletes, so
Culture's massive.
that's intense.
Yeah. So care, communication, like what are the can you distill it down to 3 things that are essential ingredients? Communication.
The communication, particularly with us, because we're not always together. So the away stuff and trying to communicate with the coaches that coach them on a more regular basis, all of that stuff, the communication is huge. But I think it's connection. So we did I try to in every camp a little social. Now we've only got 4 days in camp, so people might go, well, what are you doing? Well, you can't work. So yesterday I've got one of the leaders runs that, and we all had to send a fact about who we were, something about us that nobody else in the room would probably know, right? And then we had a quiz as to who each person was. Now that sounds ridiculous, but I sit there writing down what everyone does just because I'm interested as to and somebody mentioned Giselle's taking notes. I was like, no, I'm not taking notes, I'm writing my answers, right? But I was, and that's a connection piece, which then later brings the squad, and then we empty out today in the session, right? Everyone working so
Quite
hard
literally.
together. That's a massive connector, and the sport brings that. When you work ridiculously hard, like, you know, when you do a big gym session and you work incredibly hard, you connect that way as well.
No, I totally agree.